born in 1958, right? And I, at this point in my life, I'm sort of challenging the notions that people have about women at a certain age. You know, it's interesting how when you look at our mother's generation and generations before, our society had expectations of women. And for the most part, you know, women felt like they had to fit into that, you know, or they were talked about badly. And so what I've noticed, starting probably with my generation, women have been, you know, it started in the 60s when women were starting to really examine, you know, these sort of constraints that they had in women's lib and all that kind of stuff. So my generation has probably been one of the most free generations since those generations before me that have been allowed to really express ourselves and really figure out what it is that we need to be for ourselves. You know, we've always been the good mother, the good sister, the good daughter, but who do we expect to be for ourselves? So I'm at this point where I'm like, yeah, well, who is it that I want to be for myself? So I'm sort of caught in the middle between what I was, you know, what I was indoctrinated to be, and then the idea that as I grow older and understand who I am and become aware of who I am, and I look at all the other women around me, and we have these, you know, talks and discussions about who it is we want to be and need to be at this point in our lives, it's like, wow, you know, it's like the whole world is wide open if you choose for it to be. You know, you decide who it is that you want to be, you know. And I'm at that point where I'm allowed to do that. So, and so it doesn't help that I have a girlfriend who's my best friend who is the same age as I am. We were born on the same day, and she's crazy. And so there's nobody to say if I start thinking off in left field and I start to get a little too crazy and wild to say, no, you're going a little too far. And she's like, yeah. So she's probably crazier than I am. But anyway, so this alter ego is about examining all these ideas and, you know, about what it is to be a woman. And Fatma Mayfield is, in my mind, she is a woman that's in the community who, you know, she's examining the problems of other people because they come to her with their problems. And she's basically a psychologist, okay? That community psychologist that people don't want to talk about. You know, they go to her for answers. So in my mind, I have this ongoing story about these people who move in and out of her life. And even this shot was taken in my house, and I did it with my digital camera on a tripod. And I have several wigs, and Fatima puts on these wigs, and according to the client that she's dealing with at the time, whatever wig she feels like she may need to wear. So I've done a series of photographs where I make my friends act out characters that are in Fatima's life. And so that's what a lot of my work is about these days, examining the roles of women and, you know, the various things that we should, you know, allow ourselves to be. And so the next piece is, I'll talk briefly about those. This one is a very personal one because I come back sometimes to examine issues of relationships. And it's funny when you examine relationships between men and women, it's like, there's never any communication, you know. So it's like, this particular one is called Armored Heart, Caged Heart. And it's about wanting to be open and vulnerable in a relationship, but then being fearful about it and pulling back and putting up walls. And so you feel like you're protecting yourself. But while you're protecting yourself and not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you're also closing yourself off to love and possibilities as well. So that armor also becomes the cage. So that's what this is about. Sea Lion Woman. Okay, this is one of those vixens or wild women. And I was in the studio, always listening to music when I'm in the studio, and I happened to be listening to a dubbed version of Nina Simone singing Sea Lion Woman. And so I didn't know the lyrics, so I'm listening, I'm singing, I'm playing it over and over and over again. So at some point, you see that headdress that I have on is actually a cap that I got my mother to crochet for me. And then every time I trim my dreadlocks, I take the dreadlocks and sew them onto the cap. So it's starting to get more and more, and it's sprouting out. I'm still not done because friends have given me their dreadlocks. So it's going to be real full and dense at some point in time. But I was wearing this thing. So I'm listening to the music, and at some point she says, I didn't know what she was saying, but I'll tell you in a minute. But I thought she was saying, what is it, like I think she said, at some point she says, I thought she said, dreadlock cap.
Oh, purrs like a cat.
But she said, purrs like a cat. That's what I call the kid's Sea Lion moment. She's dreadlock cap. Okay. So I look up lyrics to Sea Lion Woman. It's like purrs like a cat, or turns like a cat, or purrs like a cat in some version. person. So I'm like, oh, well, okay. So that's what this is about. Mischievous woman picking up some stuff to do. Okay, and the next one is,
No, he only put 2.
okay,
Yes.
so that.
But you can tell us about Marie Laveau. if you want to.
Oh, yeah, of course, you know,
Yes.
she would be channeling Marie Laveau.
Yes.
Miss Marie Laveau would be giving her all the information to pass on to clients from those long line of root workers and fortune tellers and, magic women, mischievous women. And so that is kind of a series that I'm doing on these kinds of women who people in the community were fearful of only because they had wisdom and, they were dared to be a little different.
Yes.
So that's about right now.
The studio visit with Renee, she was surprised that I knew the Sea Lion Woman. I'm like a Nina Simone fanatic. And I said, oh no. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe you know.
Yes, I know, hilarious.